Andy, we're here to cram for the exam. Today we're talking about, political parties.
Political parties, the most important part of American government, not mentioned in the Constitution, because originally everyone who was writing the Constitution thought they were bad.
Remember, George Washington said, "Be weary of factions." James Madison wrote Federalist 10 talking about how to mitigate their effects. But Andy, democracy today is unthinkable without this linkage institution.
Political parties are the prime example of what we call linkage institutions. These are the institutions that link citizens with government. So in terms of the primary functions of political parties, to nominate candidates, to galvanize the vote, to educate voters, political parties are essential at linking ordinary citizens with the government.
Whoa, hold on, cowboy. Moving a little fast there. Let's break them down, political parties, to their bare essence. The big tent political parties are all about one thing, Andy. They're about winning elections.
That's right. GOTV. Political parties are all about getting out the vote, getting your base supporters and as many other people out to vote for your party's candidates.
And how do they win elections, Andy? They first have to find candidates. And this is what a primary election is all about. Political parties choose their candidates.
That's right. We used to choose candidates through a party caucus or a convention system. Now political parties use primary elections where ordinary party voters go out and select their preferred nominee to be on the ballot for the general election.
But Andy, when we look at turnout, we notice that fewer and fewer Americans are participating in primary elections. And in fact, it would not be unusual to say today that political parties have grown weak. More and more Americans are independent of the two major parties.
Well, certainly we have seen party de-alignment in this country where more and more Americans associate themselves as independent voters rather than with the two primary parties. But keep in mind that when people go to vote for president, their primary motivator is party label.
Andy, let's talk a little bit about our two-party system. First of all, we know we've got Republicans and Democrats, and then later we'll talk about third parties. Andy, what's up with the Democrats?
Well, the Democrats tend to be more on that liberal side of the political spectrum, looking for a bigger government role in the economy, where Republicans tend to be more conservative with smaller government role in regulations about business.
Andy, when we look at political parties, we can break them down into really two categories, their base and their rank and file. The base would be the more loyal activists who are consistent, ideologically that is, and are consistently voting for the Democratic Party. The rank and file tend to be a little bit more in the middle, and certainly they are Democrats, or certainly they are Republicans, but can easily be persuaded not to vote or to vote for the other side.
So we know when a candidate is seeking the party nomination, they have to appeal to the base, and they have to be more ideologically extreme. But when they're trying to win that general election, they have to appeal more to the rank and file, bringing those candidates closer to the middle of the spectrum.
Andy, why a two-party system? We certainly have a lot of opinions in America. Is it time for a third party? What holds the two-party system in place?
Well, historically, we've always had two factions fighting about the size of the central government, all the way back to the beginnings of the Constitution. But mathematically, we also have this system of a plurality system, winner takes all, where every election in America, essentially one person wins and there's no reward for second or third place, and that really motivates a two-party system.
So you say when we see those single-member districts in Congress, it helps bolster our two-party system despite both parties growing weaker and weaker. Why not a third party, Andy?
Well, third parties might not get elected, but they still play crucial roles in American politics, chiefly to bring out new ideas and issues, the way third parties always have, whether it be the women's suffrage, ending child labor, the 40-hour work week, to bring up those new ideas. But we also know in American politics, if those ideas are successful, you can be guaranteed that the Democrats or Republicans will steal those ideas in the next election.
That's kind of why we teach third parties as bees. Like the honeybee who bites in the arm, ow, but the bee dies. Andy, third parties often sting with those critical issues, and if they attract enough attention and possible voters, one of the two other political parties invite them into their big tent and try to win the next election. Andy, political parties looking to win elections, ultimately, whose tent is bigger? We're here to cram for the exam, no fancy words.
No fancy suits.
Plain talk about issues you need to know.
Just in time.